with their defense. And I think for
Hey,
myself
welcome to
right
the
now,
shortwave radio channel. And of course, another test with the Mighty King CCRadio 2E compared to the very small but capable Radiwow R-108, also known as the Ciuadon R-108. And of course, now we're tuned to 1500 kilohertz. That station is KSTP in St. Paul, Minnesota. It is a sports radio station, and we are going to be testing both radios on the same signal using the internal ferrite. So this is going to be another interesting, cool test. First radio up is the C-Crane CC Radio 2E.
around 100 points per 100 possessions. You talked about the catalyst, of course, with Shea tonight. It felt like he was able to get wherever he wanted, and considering he's been shooting 27% from three, it was a little concerning to see him go off for 32, getting to the rim. It felt like whenever he wanted without having to put up more than 2 3-point attempts in the game. In your mind, is it more right now an issue of corralling these lead guards at the point of attack? Is it an issue of the rim protection not being there? You know, what's allowing a guard like Shea Gilgeous-Alexander to get to the bucket as much as he did tonight?
I think in my opinion, because, and this is just my mindset as a former player, I always was disappointed in myself when I allowed my person I was defending to get by me, because then it meant I was putting my second and third line of defense in a weaker position, because then they had to shift. And I understand that, you know, team basketball, you have to shift positions to help defense and to have that help defense, excuse me. So I know it has to be there, but at the same time, I took pride in my defense. So it always frustrated me and disappointed me when I was the first line of breakdown in the armor. So for myself, just having that mindset, I want it to be the point of attack. That first line of defense, whoever has Cole Anthony has to take it personal, take pride in defending him and stopping him and not allowing him to probe the defense and get what he wants and get where he wants and make it difficult and uncomfortable. The more you can make him uncomfortable, the more you might see him turn the ball over, do things that are uncharacteristic.
And now, same station, 1500 kilohertz, on the Radiwow R108.
The mentality I had as a former player, I want to take pride in being the one that doesn't allow them to get what they want. A shot blocker and Daniel Gafford, excuse me, Montrezl Harrell, you don't put them in situations where they can pick up a foul and get into early foul trouble. So you taking pride in stopping them or containing them and keeping them in front of you and not allowing them to probe the defense actually puts your bigs in a better position, because it does not take them off the floor in foul trouble.
And does that include trying to pick up a Cole Anthony tomorrow night a little higher up the court to make it harder for the pick and roll game to square you up as a defender? Does that include mixing in some blitz type coverages on pick and roll instead of dropping the bit? Like, because sometimes, you know, sometimes it's as simple as you get set up by a screen and you don't have the help, and then all of a sudden your man's turning the corner and there wasn't much you could do. Like, how do you try and affect it in middle range?
I think it's a little bit different. Whoever's picking up fresh rounds in such a season, pick him up full court, try to battle him a bit. Because if you haven't picked him up full court in the game yet, he's not necessarily expecting it. He's thinking he can just get the inbound and, you know, trot up the floor. Throw a couple, you know, full court presses at him. Maybe even then throw some zone at him. Throw different looks at him to throw him off, because the more he's uncomfortable and is not expecting the same style of defense every single time, the more he has to be on his toes as a point guard and as you know, the court general on what he wants to do and where he wants to go with his offense. So maybe throw some different stuff at him. Throw some full court. Maybe put in a press. to try and throw them off. Because you're not only then throwing off the point guard, you're also throwing off the rest of the team because then they have to scatter to try and help him out. So I think you could throw a mix of everything. Maybe even throw some size on him to try and rattle him a bit. With court vision. Not allow him to think angles he necessarily has. Maybe try throwing Ben on him a couple times just to throw him off. But I know Denny's, a 6'9", kind of 3 player, but maybe just throw him at him to see what it does and rattle him. So I think it's a mix of everything. But you also have to have communication. Biggest thing on defense is communication. If I'm going to get leveled by a screen, I'm not going to be mad at the person screening me. If my teammates didn't call it out, because if I got my back to the screener, Brian, there should be 4 people telling me that screen is coming.
And now we're going to go back to the CCRadio 2E with the same signal on 1500 kilohertz.
A neck injury from the screen. If you're not communicating to me what that screen is coming, that's the problem. In that moment, you don't have that. So communication is going to be very key with guards, like a Cole Anthony, like a Shea Gilbert, like a close defense.
With 3 keys to the game. They win tomorrow night against the Orlando Magic. On the offensive end, play inside out and stay attacking downhill. On the defensive end, do a better job corralling guards up top and try your best to contain Terrence Ross.
Yep.
Easier said than done at times, but nobody is containing Megan McPeak. Megan, we're going to let you go. Thank you so much for sticking with us here on the Michelob Ultra postgame show.
Brian, I appreciate it as always, and we'll catch up tomorrow.
Absolutely. Wizards win it tonight, 122-118 over the Oklahoma City Thunder in the first of 8 straight games at home. But just because Megan's headed out doesn't mean we're done here on the Michelob Ultra postgame show. We still have your game recap for you. We will also hear from head coach Wes Unseld Jr., get his 2 cents on this Wizards win. And, of course, we will take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard. Before we do any of that, though, we are coming up on 10 o'clock here on the East Coast. That means we got to pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Washington Wizards radio network. You're listening to Washington Wizards basketball on WFED Washington, WFED HD2 Washington, WFED Sterling, WTLP FM HD2 Braddock Heights Frederick. When we return, more Michelob Ultra post-game show to come as the Wizards get a 122-118 win tonight behind 29 points from Kyle Kuzma on the Washington Wizards radio network. CDW Wizards headquarters being very busy to go where they go. That's why the spring testing a company data right on there.
And now let's go back to 1500 kilohertz, heard on the Radiwow R-108. Now, this is interesting because the 50 kilowatt station in St. Paul, Minnesota, it doesn't seem to be what I'm hearing. They're talking about Washington, and there's definitely a Washington, D.C. station, which, from what I see, is not sports. But anyways, here is the Radiwow on the same signal.
That's EGOCHconcepts.com, a Dell Technologies Platinum partner. Data security threats are reaching unprecedented levels, targeting private sector, government agencies, and individuals. At ID Technologies, we've applied our 20-plus years of experience to develop the Archon Solution Suite, empowering your remote teams to work securely from wherever they are, keeping your mission-critical data safe every step of the way. NSA CSFC compliant, quickly deployed, factory-ready at enterprise scale. Visit IDTech.com, brought to you by ID Technologies, along with Dell Technologies, innovation fueled by experience. You did it. You woke up today. You even got out of bed. You deserve a reward. We can't all be morning people, but we can all get McDonald's for breakfast.
Right now, mix and match a chicken McGriddle or a McChicken biscuit for just $3. Order ahead on the Mickey D's app. Prices are McDonald's.
listening to the Michelob Ultra post-game show on the Washington Wizards Radio Network. And just in case you missed any of Tuesday night's matchup between the Washington Wizards and Oklahoma City Thunder, it's time now for your game recap. Wizards entering the night at 20-20. One more game before the halfway point of the season. They were hoping to get to the halfway mark above 500 with a win against OKC. But they knew two things coming in. One, it wasn't going to be easy. The first matchup back on November 26th was a 2-point win in OKC. And this time around, the Wizards were going to have to do it without Bradley Beal, who entered the health and safety protocols for the second time this season. And so the Wizards were going to have to depend a lot on Kyle Kuzma, and he delivered early.
Kuzma crosses right of the circle. Hash marks, drives, guarded by Wiggins. Backs in, right of lane, backs in, turns, head fake, draws contact, puts it a shot. 10 feet, right side of the lane. He drew contact from the rookie Aaron Wiggins. 13-8 Wizards on top. Kyle Kuzma already with 8 points, and he's going to the free throw line. Dinwiddie off a camera screen, back out front. Kuzma at the point between the circles. Left elbow, left block, spins, fades baseline, left scores! Oh! Smooth! 18-8. Wizards on top, and Kyle Kuzma now with 11.
Strong start to the game for Kyle Kuzma. He would go off in that first quarter. 12 points on 5 of 5 shooting.
So this seems to be probably Washington, D.C. I'll be actually clearing that out and posting the station and the description below. So anyways, whatever station it was, what do you think? Any comments on what the Radiwow sounds like compared to the CCRadio TE? Does one seem to be a winner compared to the other? Vote on the same signal using the internal ferret. If you enjoy my videos, please subscribe, give us a thumbs up. Thank you for watching.